Welcome back to the Dope Black Chick podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Spidle, and today I am coming to you with a full heart, fresh off a girls' weekend that honestly, y'all, it felt like church, it felt like therapy, it was a Beyonce concert, all rolled into one. So, you ever have those moments where you didn't even realize how much you needed something until you had it? Well, that was this weekend. It was freedom, it was laughter, it was tears over wine and conversations so real you felt your soul exhale. And it reminded me that sisterhood is self care. It's not the cute kind that you post on IG or TikTok, because I did post our pictures and all that good stuff. So you get an essence of what happened, but you don't until you were really there. It's the kind that says, take the cape off, sis. You are safe here. And that's how we felt all weekend long. So in today's episode, we're talking about the sacred role of community in our healing, and then why every woman, especially us, especially now, needs a circle where she can be soft, where she can be seen, where she can be still. And if you've been craving real connection or wondering why your spirit feels so worn out, I am going to give you an opportunity to lean in, right? This one's for the part of you that's ready to rest in the company of women who truly get it. So let's get into it. All right. So let's set the stage, gang. Story time. Everybody ready for story time? All right. So it was my best friend Keisha's. If you've been following this podcast, you know these people, right? So let me set it up. My best friend Keisha celebrates her birthday. Her birthday is May 27th. However, she was like, you know what? I'm celebrating the entire month. And every weekend, I'm going to spend time with the women that I love in my tribe. I love that idea. So our weekend was the first weekend of the month, and it was myself, my friend Kenya, and my bestie Vet. Right, so all four of us linked up for the weekend, got Airbnb, all that good stuff. Right, and we didn't even know what the agenda was. We were just happy to be together. And when I say we had such a great time, we did winemaking classes, just hanging out. We really just ate and drank pretty much. We were drinking wine, mimosas. We had a moo party. We did paint and sip. Like, we just had a good ass time together. We caught up with each other, and one of the things that is so intriguing to me is the fact that of these four women, like, we're all transitioning, right? At some point in our life, we're dealing with perimenopause. We are dealing with um, marriage. We are dealing with not being married. We are dealing and how that feels at our age. Like, we are uh understanding what true freedom is, right? Like, my girl Keish is not married and she is embracing her freedom. Like, she has really tapped into the freedom that she has, right? And what that choice she's choosing that choice, right? It's just, we had some beautiful conversations that were so eye-opening, and then being able just to be real about marriage. Like, I'm married the second time, and I was able to talk about that. Same thing with Kenya. Like, this is her second go round, and we all have different viewpoints and perspectives on what we're experiencing. We didn't have to put on a mask and say everything's great. We didn't have to do that. We just were honestly and raw ourselves to talk about our strengths, our weaknesses, where we think we failed, where we think um we could have done better, like our everything. It was just a beautiful opportunity to be in a space where you feel super safe to just be, right? To just be and know that we knew that the women in this circle would take everything that we had to say. There was no judgment, right? We listen and we don't judge. Like there was no judgment. There was just open ears, uh, soft shoulders, right, to lean on, and warm hugs. Like my girlfriend kept saying, she was like, "It just smells like black women in here," shea butter and cocoa butter. Like it was just the most warming place to be, and it was so needed. We needed it so bad. We were all in some stage of becoming. And for once, we didn't need to have it all figured out, right? We could just be. And what's so crazy is that of this group, all four of us are very independent women. We have all held it down in each one of our families. We were always like the main people to hold it down, have it all figured out. The people that, everyone comes to, expects you to have the answers. Of course we gravitated to one another, and I think that is what makes our relationship so loving and safe, is because we know that we understand having to be in that place of always having the answers. So we love and respect a place where we don't have to have it all figured out. That it's beautiful. So let's talk about why sisterhood is a form of self-care, right? Many Black women were taught to be strong, not to rest or to receive. We are taught, my mom for sure taught me, like, don't be a pansy. Like she always said that about the girls, never about my one brother. But she always was like, don't be a pansy. You gotta be strong, you gotta man up, you can't allow people to tear you down, which is great advice, but it was as if there was never space for me to be human, to be fragile, to cry, to rest. Right? If she saw a woman just laying around, my mom was like, "Oh no, 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 no! You need to be doing something." Right? How many times have you heard that? Like the lazy, you keep in your head thinking you're lazy. No, you're tired. And then to receive, like my mother also said, people don't just do things. They don't just do things for nothing. They always want something. And I understand the logic behind making a statement like that, because as a person who literally, was used in several ways, I did grow up with the mindset that, maybe I'm only worthy, people only want me around because of something that they can take from me. And so I already had this predisposition that, what can I provide for people? Because that's the only way they're going to keep me around. So I need to know what it is I'm providing, or be really good at what I'm providing to give to them in order for them to want me in their lives. I really honestly thought that nobody wants you around unless there's something they can take from you. And so it's really hard to be able to receive. So when someone comes along and they just want to give to you, you're suspicious. You looking like, what you really want, right? That is something that I endured. Um, Honestly, I didn't start breaking that mold until 2020, right? 2020, 2021. And 2021 is when I met my husband. And I was able to receive him because I had done the work to really break that myth, right? And so it was so refreshing to meet someone that didn't want anything from me, just really truly wanted to be around. In this season, soft landings and safe circles need to be a non-negotiable. They are for me. If the situation I'm in or the people I'm around do not give me peace, do not fill me with a sense of security, why am I with you? Why? Why am I here? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you really have to start questioning that and say, why am I sharing my energy with these people? Because you have to make sure that you understand that you're mirrored by the people around you, right? So if you're the fun loving, um, fill them up type person, you probably want to be around, uh, fill them up type people. And those are the types that I'm with, right? I'm mirrored by the women who see me, and it just heals something. It does. It made me feel seen, understood. Of course, they understand. These women have given their lives to other people. They have constantly poured from their cups. So, yes, totally. Everybody understands. There's no need to explain. Like when you say something, they're like, yeah. So, that is just how being mirrored by the women around you heals you. It really does. And so let's move on. Let me give you guys a quick affirmation. I got to drop an affirmation. I may have another one before the end of the show. I don't know. But here's an affirmation for you. I am safe to take the cape off and be seen in my soft. I am safe to take the cape off and be seen in my softness. Woo! If I had that some years back, well, maybe I did because that's how I ended up doing it, right? So for those people who say, well, how do you find community like this, right? Because I get that question a lot, especially from younger girls. I get that question. How do you have these friends? Like, I wish I could get a friendship circle like that. Mind you, my friendship circle is what ranges from 30 years to 15 years. That's how solid those our friend group is, right? 30 years was the oldest relationship, 15 years is the youngest relationship. So I want to talk to the listener who feels isolated and feels like, how do you create such a circle? I want to let you know you are not alone. Your circle is still forming, right? But the thing is, we have to become aware of one, what we want. And if you want to mirror something that you are or that you want to be. Okay? You got to be very clear on that. And you have to be honest. You got to be honest about the personality that I have, the person that I am, the way that I'm thinking currently. Is that the mirror I want? Right? And if it is, then you surround yourself with people like that. But if it is not, you have to do the work to then become the mirror of the person that you want to be, right? So I would seek out people with those qualities that you love, but you're not going to have a true friendship until you can become a mirror too. So you can't just jump into that group and think, oh yeah, we all the same, because you've carried uh your self reflections with you into this group, and they will sense it and they will see it. So it's not going to be the complete circle until you begin reflecting those qualities that you came there for, right? You can't take your old qualities into the new group. No, you've got to be ready to change yourself. That's why I say your circle is forming. Doesn't mean that you have to have it all together when you go into the circle, but you have to be amongst a group of people who are willing to change. And even the idea of having creating a circle that is becoming means surround yourself with women who are honest about the fact that they are becoming. Surround yourself with women who are like, you know what, I know I'm transitioning. I know I want more. I want more out of life. I want more for myself, and I'm navigating myself through that. That's what you need. She doesn't have to have it all together. She doesn't have to have it all together. The fact that she's honest, that there is more that she wants for her life, that aligns with you. You just say, hey, I want this type of life. I want to be this type of woman. I am in a season of becoming. So get around other women who are becoming, right? And here are some ways to begin. Be open to new connections. You can't walk into a situation and constantly be like, oh, I don't trust everybody. I don't trust everybody. I see that. Please don't be the stank face woman. Because you know what? Let me tell you, from my perspective, when I see the stank face woman, I immediately know she's hurting. And usually, I don't pity her, but I do feel bad for her. I'm like, man, she just needs something's hurting in there, and she just needs a place to release it. And then we know how great she was. But the stank face girl, most people don't want to give her that opportunity, right? Because she turns everybody off. Me, I will open the door and allow her to just be until she releases it all. And then usually people are like, well, why are you friends with her? She cool. You just have to open the door and allow, her to get that stuff off. But you got to be understanding of that. And there aren't many people who, unless they're a therapist or something like that, that's going to be able to see that and give grace for that, right? But you need to be open to new connections, and that needs to be on both sides. Another thing is release your outdated relationships with love. If you have a friendship that used to work, just isn't working anymore, or is taking you in the wrong direction, release it with love. That friendship it played its part, it was for its season, but it's time to let it go. And it's okay. You cannot you don't have to hold on to everybody all the time. I had a friend group that was strictly my college friend group. We still acknowledge each other, we still speak, we're still cordial, but we're nothing like we were in college, right? But that's a different season of our lives. And so that relationship didn't prosper past that. It didn't prosper past that. But we still appreciate each other for that season. And then another thing you can do is create your own sacred circle, even if it starts with one friend or a virtual meetup. Create your own circle. Like, you have to be active in this process. I don't know, a lot of people think that the friendships just find you. You have to be active. Honestly, my oldest friendship with Vet, 30 something years, actually 30, shoot, might be 33 years. It's been a while. Was me actively saying to her, hey, we're going to be friends because we're going to see each other all the time, every day in these classes. We're going to sit across from each other. So we might as well be friends. And the action on my side to ask, and the action on her side to say, you're right, let's do it. And we showed up for each other every day since. No questions asked. That's my friend. We already agreed upon it. So create your own sacred circle. Here's something that you can write in your journal. What kind of sisterhood do I need in this season? And how can I start showing up that way for myself and for others? That's a good question to ask yourself, right? So write that down in your journals. All right, guys. So finally, I want to get you to take some action. You know how we do it. We always leave with action steps on the Dope Black Chick podcast. I want you to plan a moment of connection with somebody. I know there's somebody in your head. Just plan a moment of connection. It could be coffee, it could be a call, just whatever. Even with a friend that you currently have, but you guys haven't like solidified the circle, do some kind of action. Plan a moment of connection. Then I want you to send love to the women who hold them, right? So send love to their mothers, send love. And this could be a heart exercise, sending love, but send love to the women who hold them. It could be their families, their aunties, any kind of mentors that they have. Send love, right? And then make space in their life for receiving. Make space in your life for receiving. You've got to be ready for what this relationship may do or may bring. So that means you got to clear the space in your heart, in your spirit, in your energy, whatever, to be able to receive the friendship you're asking for. Because it's a heavy lift. I could go on and tell you guys about, and I'll probably do that on another episode, but between 15 and 30 years of friendship does not happen easy. It happens intentionally. We make room for each other. We give each other grace. We have hard conversations. We discuss it all. And we don't hide ourselves from those situations, right? So you got to make space for that. Do you have space for these people in your life? Because you can't be like, oh, they getting on my nerves. They call all the time. That's your friend. That's what you said it was, right? And you wanted to give them that opportunity to just be who they are. You don't have to heal alone. You can let sisterhood hold you while you grow. But that's only if you're intentional about the entire thing. Intentionality. I talk about intentionality all the time. And if you would like to take a 30-day journey to intentionality, I do have the 30 Days to Becoming Intentional ebook available in my Stand store. The link is in the show notes. Okay? Go there, pick up this ebook, and start 30 days. Every day I give you action steps, just like I do here on the podcast. And in 30 days, you'll become a more intentional person, be it personal, be it spiritual, be it in career, professional. It doesn't matter. You're going to now become a more intentional woman. And if that is something you want, go pick up the ebook, 30 Days to Becoming Intentional. It's in the Stand store. Link in bio, link in show notes, all that. All right, guys, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. If this episode touched your spirit, I need you to share it with your circle, right? Share it with a person that you want to connect with. Let's spread the softness. Let's normalize being, and being held. Because you deserve spaces where you can be free to evolve, to cry, to heal, to laugh, to just be. Until next time, guys, peace and blessings.